My words, those are the words of the European leaders this weekend. Europe is freaking out over this weekend. They need to prepare to send troops to Ukraine right now, or Ukraine will fail. That's what Europe is talking about. These are the words coming out of these crazy leaders, and they've lost their freaking minds. You'll be able to tell your kids where you were when these globalists pushed us into World War III. It won't happen, by the way, like World War II. Right now, it's happening in multiple spots, on multiple fronts, on multiple continents, across Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. This is not your grandfather's World War. So tonight, Ukraine is just days away from total collapse. EU's chief diplomat is almost begging for NATO boots and weapons on the ground in Ukraine right this minute, or BlackRock and Vanguard and all the Western companies that are benefactors are going to lose out of billions of dollars in resources that they hoped to pilfer and steal from Ukraine if Russia takes total control. Quote, without arms, supplies from the West, Ukraine will capitulate in 2 weeks. That's from EU's chief diplomat Borrell. Now, 2 weeks. Putin's offensive hasn't even started yet. Now that the ground is firmed up and actually not wet, that's when this is going to happen. This is the calm before the storm. Colonel McGregor says, quote, Ukraine is running out of soldiers at this point, and reports indicate they are losing 500 to 800 per day. And the Russian offensive has not even begun. This place is nearing collapse, he says.
The Ukrainian force has been annihilated. They've lost over 600,000 dead on the battlefield. There's nothing left. The place is falling apart.
He's right. In fact, this weekend, an entire Ukrainian battalion was destroyed, killed. That's 1,500 soldiers killed on the Ukrainian side. And a battalion, you could give or take a few hundred people, is about 1,000 individuals, so more than a battalion's worth wiped out in one day. As the Blitz writes, the Western military-industrial complex is putting pressure on politicians, including Biden and his administration, to keep the cash cow alive by prolonging the conflict in Ukraine. They don't care about the people of Ukraine, as we've long covered here on the show. They don't give a shit about the people of Ukraine. They care about the money. So what's the goal here? The other part of this goal is to topple Putin so we can steal their resources, enrich the military-industrial complex. That's always been the plan. As Colonel Mack says, this is absolute madness.
Russia, in the last 2.5 years, has built up an enormously powerful and successful force. This is battle-hardened, well-equipped, well-led, well-trained, highly disciplined. The Ukrainian nation has been destroyed. Why? Because it's mortgaged to our vanity in the West. Russia must be taught a lesson. Russia must be destroyed. Putin must be removed. Really? Why? Well, because we've decided that we want to strip Russia of its resources. So we turned Ukraine into a battering ram designed to stab Russia in the heart. Well, the Russians woke up.
Meanwhile, France knows the EU is in serious trouble. That's why tonight I mentioned multiple fronts. France is doubling down on its plan to send boots on the ground, NATO forces into Ukraine to fight Russia, and into Africa to fight Russia because of all of the mineral-rich resource region of the Sahel in Africa. They want those resources. They don't want Russia to get their hands on it. And French President Macron says Europe right now better ramp up its military or Europe is about to die. I mean, these are really strong words from these leaders. Europe is about to die? If they send troops, all bets are off. They know Putin is about to attack Ukraine with devastating consequences to end this war. They do not want this going into another dark winter. If NATO gets in the way, all hell is about to break loose. And on top of that, Russian President Putin just sent a devastating nuclear warning to NATO, warning them that if they take one step closer to prepare for all-out war. There's like 5 moving pieces this weekend that are all spiraling out of control. One of the big pieces is nuclear war. I know people who don't understand history will say that we won't go to nuclear war. Occasionally I see comments like that. But Russia is not going to lose a war against NATO. And if their sovereign territory is attacked, Putin is telling us, he's telling us, they will use nuclear weapons against NATO to defend their homeland. The U.S. would do the very same thing, by the way. And of course, we already have twice. So Putin just called out all of these warmongers, telling them that we have all of your weapons coming in from NATO, cataloged and tracked. And he says, by the way, if NATO sends troops to Ukraine to defeat Russia, nukes will hit U.S. decision-making centers. His words. And bases. His words. And we will strike all of your launch sites. Putin's words France will be disarmed in an instant, he says, and the British Isles will go underwater. Those are the harshest, most direct comments that I think.
Second Ezra chapter 6 verses 7 through 9, and it reads, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follow it? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, and when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Power of Israel, Yahweh, Bashima Mashiach Yahushai, Ruha Rukakudash. Double honors to my elders and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humble and sincerity. Again, I'm gonna say shalom. It's gonna be very short. Just going into this time that we're in. These draconian laws being set up against the 12 tribes of Israel in these last days. Okay. We should be of cheer, and we shouldn't walk in fear, okay, of the powers that be and these elites while they passing draconian law. Okay, this bill that's being passed, I won't say it because I want to go to YouTube, but y'all know what I'm going into with this aftermath of the protest in the college campuses, because of the war and whatnot.
Have the support of many Jewish college students, but many others say that they feel intimidated and unsafe.
Within the hour, the House voted overwhelmingly to pass a measure targeting anti-Semitism on campus. CBS 2's Tony Aiello spoke with two local sponsors of the bipartisan bill.
We need to be able to define anti-Semitism.
The bill, sponsored by Republican Mike Lawler and Democrat Josh Gottheimer, does just that. Their Anti-Semitism Awareness Act directs the U.S. Department of Education to use the definition developed by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance when enforcing federal anti-discrimination laws. Quote, anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred toward Jews. It goes on to define examples of anti-Semitism. Some of the heated rhetoric on college campuses would be included.
When you hear from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, the reality is that is calling for the eradication of Jews and the state of Israel.
All of our colleges have a responsibility to protect against hate and discrimination. And again, there's a difference between speech, which should be protected, and harassment and violence and intimidation, like a death threat.
Colleges that fail to protect Jewish students could face civil rights enforcement. Critics, including Congressman Jerry Nadler, say the bill sweeps too broadly and would chill constitutionally protected free speech, including legitimate criticism of Israel. But others say speech has limits, and some of the rhetoric crosses the line into harassment. This Jewish student at Columbia declined to give his name.
A lot of people come to me, maybe they don't completely understand what they say. Those people are educated adults who are going to the best institutions in the world. They should know what they say.
The bill still needs to pass the Senate and be signed by President Biden.
We can see we're approaching the very last days. Okay? Let's get Obadiah 1:4. Obadiah 1:4, it reads, Do thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars. Thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord. And that's chiefly dealing with Babylon the Great, aka the United States of America. And as Israelites in the knowledge of this truth, I'm 9 years in, if it be the Lord. If there's a next year, I'll be entering into my 10th year. And I'm going to tell you straight, we can't be scared of the powers that be. And you got this madness going on in certain Israelite groups. I mean, certain Israelites don't even want to wear their borders and blues or fringes, but they're scared of the government, okay? And that's them damn keyboard individualites that's, you know, lukewarm. Can't be lukewarm in this truth. Right now is the time to be strong and show your faith, okay? You can't be a coward at the very last end. We're coming into the latter end of these days, okay? And it's not long, y'all. You check the video, Russia just took over a base with United States troops that was present. Okay, you got the continent of Africa setting up with Russia. Okay, you have that mercenary group. I think it's the Wagner group. They setting up with Russia and these other Hamitic military groups out there to overthrow NATO. And as I've been saying, this war is here. Okay. And it's only going to increase. So we coming into these times. So then a report out there, when you check it, there's rumors Russia going to start hitting these internet cords. Excuse me. These connecting pipes throughout the planet set up by your so-called elite powers that be, the establishment.
Last 3 decades, like the internet. Many of you are watching us online right now in real time from different corners of the world. How do you think that's possible? The internet, yes, but how exactly? The simple answer is underwater cables. Over 95% of the world's data is transmitted under the oceans via giant data cables that crisscross continents. A NATO commander has issued a warning. He fears that Russia is planning an attack as part of a new form of what they call undersea hybrid warfare. He says potential Russian hybrid warfare threatens 1 billion people. It threatens their security. It would take a massive coordinated attack to cut all of the cables. It's not something that can be done in secret or in one fell swoop. So maybe NATO should avoid unnecessary fear-mongering.
And if they start hitting these chords, it's going to really do damage to business here, chiefly in Babylon the Great. Okay. So, as I say, when you look at Jacob's trouble, we were already born into that thing, but will it increase? Absolutely. And we're coming into that time where the increase is going to be phenomenal. But remember, when you go into Jeremiah 30 and 7, that's really going into our very last days here. Okay? Because once this war escalates, okay, that's going to be it. A lot of rumors going out there that France is sending troops to defend Ukraine. Because when you check out the news with Russia and Ukraine, the whole thing damn near about to get annexed. I saw one report, Putin said Volodymyr Zelensky is wanted now. So they're coming after him. And now you have NATO trying to save face for Zelensky. Excuse me, rumors. You have rumors that China's going to overthrow Taiwan. But, of course, we've been hearing that one for God knows how long now. It hadn't happened yet. But it's really heating up. And my message is to just be strong in these last days. Be strong. Don't be scared of what's going on, and don't be scared of the laws being passed. That law is weird as hell. I was looking at some of the elders in the community bring that out. It's like they're giving the small hatters rights. They amending certain laws that was already set. Then at the bottom it says your First Amendment freedoms is protected. I mean, that thing's confusion, y'all. That thing is a pile of confusion. But in saying that, we shouldn't be in fear. We should keep the commandments. We need to be keeping the commandments of fearing the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No one give a damn about these racist and white supremacists. I'm standing my ground. I don't give a damn what they say. Okay, what they want to do when they come to us. The Most High said they're going to come at us in these last days. Hey, let them come. As Hebrew Israelites in the knowledge of this truth, we're to stand our ground, especially against Esau, Edom, and the Edomites, that wicked bloodline. No one's running from them, and no one's scared of them. I mean, for what it's worth, they're a bunch of profane losers anyways. Let's get that in Hebrews 12 and 16. And it reads, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Okay, and that's just the end all be all. He despised it. You read the Genesis 25 accounts. Okay, he hated his birthright. You read all the way to Genesis 25, 26, 27. Shoot, you can read all the way down to the Dukes of Edom, man. Genesis, I believe, 36. He hated his birthright. But when you go into the prophecies in Ezekiel 35 and 5, that perpetual hatred is there. And that's been made manifest with the laws they're passing. Okay, of course, Creepy Joe, he's going to sign that thing. And let him. We don't run. We stand firm in his truth under Yahweh Yahweh Shai. That's it. The hell with the racism, white supremacists. Let them make their threats, because in the end, they're going to be destroyed. Tell that Exodus the 17th chapter. They're going to be wiped out like the ancient Egyptians. And they're going to be confounded in the last day. They're going to fall. They're going to fall at the hands of their own wickedness, man. And that's just what it is. So we should not be walking in fear of our oppressors, because truthfully their time is literally running out. Let's get the citation from the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. It cites Edom as being the place of great future judgment. Its people will be given no mercy from the Most High. So they're condemned no matter what they do. So we should be strong in these last days. I think that's Revelations 13 and 10. Or maybe it's Revelations 2 and 10. I may be miscuing the precept. But they're going to put some of us in jail and prisons. Some of us might even die when these decrees are passed. But you got to stand firm. Okay, that's just what it is. You got to stand firm until the Lord free us. Okay, get a few more. I'm gonna end it. We gonna end it here. Let's get Revelations 18, 17 through 19. We're going to end it here. But it's just a short message. Just be strong. Don't worry about these decrees. Okay, just keep your head up. Keep the commandments chiefly. And do this work in humbleness, sincerity. And the hell with the wicked elite, so-called powers that be. The Most High of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he's going to destroy them. So no one gives a damn what threats they put out. Let them. We're going to stand firm in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh Shai. That's all, family. Be strong in this thing. Okay. Revelation chapter 18, 17 through 19. For in 1 hour so great riches come to naught. Every shipmaster and all the companies and ship sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city where it made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate, because the Lord gonna put a spirit on these BRICS nations to start shooting them ICBMs, man. And America's gonna go in 1 hour. Okay. Let's get the 22nd verse. Revelations 18:22, and it reads, and the voice of the harpers, musicians, and the pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. No craftsman or whosoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, because the Lord gonna destroy this place. Okay, but with that, I'll give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High power of Israel, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the mighty men, the elders, and the apostles in the community, waking up the lost sheep, the house of Israel in these last days. Peace and blessings to everyone doing this truth and humbleness and sincerity. Israel, I love y'all. We got next. Shalom, family.